I am Ray Deeny, the law firm of Sherman and Howard, and I come to you today to discuss the investigation and results of the investigation concerning allegations of discrimination and harassment against the Sheriff's Department. By way of background, I think it would be helpful to recount some of the history. On May 12 of this year, this board received a letter setting forth employment complaints from 3 commanders within the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. The letter included a wide variety of allegations against the sheriff acting in his capacity as sheriff, and asked that this board initiate an investigation into the activities at the sheriff's office during Sheriff Maketa's term as sheriff over a 12-year period of time. I hasten to add that this was the first report of any kind, formal or informal, of complaints brought to the attention of this Board of County Commissioners. When such allegations are made, customarily, the appropriate thing to do is to commence an investigation and try to bring prompt corrective measures, if necessary, to the circumstances. This commission met its obligations under the law precisely and promptly in that regard. Having received the letter on May 12, the commission initiated this investigation on May 13 through my offices at Sherman and Howard. I, in turn, retained the investigation services of the Mountain States Employers Council to conduct an impartial investigation of these allegations. The board continued with their appropriate corrective measures during the ensuing 5 months. On May 28, 2014, this board unanimously called for the sheriff's resignation and censured him based on the concerns that the sheriff's alleged conduct had compromised his ability to lead the organization, period. On May 30, 2014, Chairman Heisey sent a county-wide email requesting that employees step forward and share their complaints, if any, regarding the sheriff's office, period. The other, what I would call tangential allegations regarding budgetary issues, financial management, accounts that were being used by the sheriff's office were also directed by the commission for investigation. After 5 months, the Mountain States Employers Council has completed the investigation regarding the employment matters that initially occurred. Over 66 interviews were conducted. Thousands of documents have been reviewed. The resulting findings are not a statement by any means of civil or criminal liability or responsibility. They are simply findings that more likely than not, certain things have occurred. At the direction of this commission, I have instructed Mountain States Employers Council during this investigation to forward matters that were extraneous to the employment issues that may indeed implicate criminal matters to the appropriate offices of the state and local governments, including the Colorado Bureau of Investigations and the El Paso County DA's office. The commission, again, has acted in concert with its obligations under law in doing so. At this point, we do not have a final report from Mountain States Employers Council, but we have turned over the summary of findings to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and they will do with those findings what they need to as far as the DA's office is concerned. The final report from the Mountain States Employers Council in its entirety will not be turned over to the public or the commissioners because of the nuances of the law regarding the CBI process. I will, however, share some of the findings that bear on the employment issues at hand. Those findings are as follows. Sheriff Maketa, on occasion, influenced internal inquiries into the sheriff being nominated for what is referred to as the 100 Club Award. Sheriff Maketa engaged in inappropriate relationships with 3 females. This resulted in allowing 3 subordinates at times to disregard El Paso County Sheriff's Office policies and procedures, including leave of absence policies, use of company property, county property, not following chain of command procedures, and not following the internal affairs processes in some instances. Sheriff Maketa and Under Sheriff Presley failed to follow the El Paso County Sheriff policies and procedures for initiating and conducting internal affairs investigations. As well, Sheriff Maketa and Under Sheriff Presley attempted to influence internal affairs investigations. Sheriff Maketa and Under Sheriff Presley, without good cause, opened an internal affairs investigation and criminal investigation into an alleged missing internal affairs file of a former El Paso County Sheriff Office employee. In some instances, Sheriff Maketa released internal affairs files without appropriate process under the Colorado Open Records Act. Under Sheriff Presley, it should be noted throughout these 5 months, has not cooperated in an independent employment investigation and has not been heard regarding these allegations by her own choosing. As to the findings, there were suggested incidents where Under Sheriff Presley had made threats to those individuals in the sheriff's office who had made statements during internal affairs interviews that she disagreed with. Sheriff Maketa was found to have offered endorsements to a candidate for sheriff in exchange for certain personal favors to the sheriff. These findings were central to the accusations initially received on May 5 and were responsive in detail with the Mountain States, responded to in detail with the Mountain States investigation. I want to emphasize that, again, there has been no trial, there has been no adjudication of any of these findings, but they have caused, appropriately, the Commission to take what I referred to earlier as prompt corrective measures. And I'd like to itemize some of those things. The Commission has set about to audit policies and procedures, to allay any concerns in the future about people in the Sheriff's Office deviating from these policies and procedures. There has been a review process set in place to ensure that those who have raised concerns and have been allegedly retaliated against in one form or another will not be countenanced. Any decision that has been advanced that could cause an adverse action to personnel of the El Paso County Sheriff's Office has been scrutinized and examined at the instruction of the Commission to make sure that indeed it is being imposed or carried out in compliance with policy and procedures. To that end, specifically at my instruction, the Commission authorized the use of the services of former Colorado Springs Chief of Police and City Manager Lauren Kramer as an expert to review personnel practices, internal affairs procedures, and outcomes to avoid there being any adverse action that was wrongfully taken. The Commission has authorized, and it has indeed occurred to the extent there was any financial mismanagement, the movement of El Paso County Sheriff accounts to the Treasurer's oversight, and others are currently being reviewed as well. Finally, there is an initiative to coordinate with the pending election of a sheriff, further audits and review of policies, processes, so that there is more integrated coordination with the county governance and specifically the county attorney's offices. Let me give you a status report on litigation. At the present time, there are effectively 9 claimants. No lawsuits have been filed at the present time. We have 3 claims that have been processed through the EEOC. We have engaged counsel for claimants to try and understand better their claims and to hopefully forestall litigation. We do not see at the present time that the county has condoned or engaged in any activities that would lend support to any of the findings that have been previously identified. The county will thoroughly and vigorously defend its actions in any lawsuit that is commenced. Nonetheless, we do firmly believe that the employees of this county, as well as their representatives, and certainly the citizenry of this county, believe the best course is to move on and that we hope that is lived out over in the ensuing few months and with change of administration. We will defend, as I said, vigorously claims brought against this county, but we remain optimistic that the public spirit will prevail and that we will heal this community and its reputation, and we will move forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.